Hello, I'm Sean Skinner. Welcome to the second video on checking for ice hockey entitled Positioning. In this video, I will focus on positioning for defensive play. This type of positioning is not where to stand for the position you play, i.e. center, wing, or defense, but rather how every player on defense should stand regardless of your position. It teaches players and coaches how to play in-your-face hockey by maintaining a tight gap that limits the puck carrier's decisions with the puck. This type of pressure by tight gap is very similar to playing a press in basketball, where each player is in tight coverage man-to-man. This video will also look at steering and angling the building blocks to running a trap forecheck. Finally, in this video, we will address the decision-making process of when a player attacks the opponent with pressure or when the player gives up ice and uses more of a contained checking method. Now we're going to take a look at defensive side positioning, which is the most important positioning in ice hockey. Defensive side positioning is also referred to as net side positioning or goal side positioning. The definition is to have yourself between the opponent you cover and the net. This can be against an opponent with or without the puck. Here with defensive side positioning, the player takes an alignment like the goaltender when playing angles. I've included a graphic here which shows a player standing in defensive side positioning in different situations up and down the ice. While in this defensive side position, the player also puts themselves in an inside-out position, which means that he's in the middle of the ice facing the boards. Here, the player wants to force, steer, or direct the opponent to a poor ice position against the wall, protecting the middle of the ice, what we sometimes call the mid-ice corridor. While keeping this defensive side position between the opponent and the net, and the inside-out position facing the boards, the player also wants to keep square to the opponent. So here he keeps square by facing his opponent with his shoulders and his body. The defending player can keep the defensive side positioning whether they are playing aggressively or patiently. Offensive side positioning, usually called puck side positioning, is when the defensive player away from the puck has their body between the puck and the opponent they're covering. Sometimes the player will only have puck side positioning, like back checking, and or late in the game if their team is losing. This can create more offensive opportunities, also with greater risk. Good defensive players away from the puck always maintain both defensive side and offensive side positioning at the same time. Now we're taking a look at good positioning. Good positioning is when I have defensive side positioning and puck side positioning on my opponent in front of the net. This would be defensive side position where I'm between the man and the net, and this would be puck side position between the opponent I cover and the puck carrier, between the puck and the opponent, and this would be defensive side positioning and puck side positioning, where I'm playing the opponent now from both, and that's good positioning. Fronting an opponent is puck side positioning. There are certain situations where covering an area in front of the net is more important than covering a specific opponent. Penalty killing is one of these situations. Fronting the opponent means that the defensive player in front of the net moves in front of the opponent they're covering. In this position, the defensive player can block a pass or a shot and keep the opponent from capitalizing on rebounds. Generally, the weak side winger is responsible for the coverage in the slot. This area should start coverage from the back side so that nobody is in front of this player. This weak side winger is called the eyes of the defensive team because this player can see if any of the teammates are missing their coverage. From this backside position, the opposition will enter the slot, and this is when the weak side winger picks up the opponent. This weak side winger is also doing coverage for an area and is responsible for the opposing weak side point and must make sure that the opposing weak side point does not sneak into the backside or the backdoor position for a pass. The more time the puck carrier has, the better chance they have to make a great play. And the more space the puck carrier has, the more freedom they have to move and make a great play. Taking away time and space has to be one of the most important techniques in all sports. By pressuring an opponent and pushing them into smaller spaces, it forces the opponent to make bad decisions. Closing the gap is the process of taking away time and space. The gap is the distance between the puck carrier and the defender. We take away time and space by closing this gap. Here are some game situations where we see tight and loose gaps. Here's a one-on-one where the defensive player is holding a tight gap. The puck carrier drives for the open space behind the defenseman. Here's a one-on-one where the defensive player is giving up ice in front and playing a loose gap. Now the puck carrier drives for the open ice in front of the defenseman.